Hi everyone, welcome to my channel once again. It's a pleasure having you guys. I hope you guys had a lovely week. Most importantly, I hope your day is coming along great, and if it's not, please try to make it a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your continued support. Truly appreciate all of you. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching this, please don't forget to do so. Give this video a thumbs up, comment, like, share, invite all your friends to come and watch this. But thank you so much. So today I'm going to start the series. So I decided to start the series. It's going to be a series that I'm going to be doing. The main topic of the series is going to be loving yourself through. So for example, today's topic is going to be loving yourself through a bad breakup, reclaiming yourself and your self-confidence through a bad breakup. So that's going to be the series. So you definitely want to ensure that you subscribe. That way you don't miss this. You stay connected, because these are some goodies that you are going to want to share. You can share with friends, so stay connected, like I said. But thank you. So without further ado, let's get into the yumminess. All right, so like I mentioned, pardon me, I'm going to be using my phone because all my notes is in here. So like I mentioned, the topic is reclaiming yourself and your self-confidence through a bad breakup. So healing through a bad breakup in simple terms. So breaks up at one of those things that we've all experienced. Raise your hands if you've had a bad breakup. So it is one of those things that could end messy or could end peacefully, depending on the situation of the relationship. Every case is different, but the vast majority of the time, sometimes it ends very messy because there's a very thin line between love and hate. So in terms of dealing with the breakup when it happens, the emotional effects that comes after it, that's the part that's usually difficult for some people, and that's the part that is actually very important as well, because you need to be able to heal through the past and move forward. Because if you are not able to do that, then you are robbing yourself of meeting another individual that could love you better than the other person you were with. So let's go through the steps, and I hope that this helps someone, you, anybody, but the key is sharing, spreading the love, and just remember, just because you went through a bad breakup doesn't mean that you as an individual, something is wrong with you. So as I go through the steps, we'll talk about more details and key points, but enough of the rambling, let's get to sharing. So the first step is accepting the status of what the relationship is, which is, it is over. Okay, it's not the end of the world just because it's over. It doesn't mean that your life is over just because it's over. It doesn't mean that you as a person is unworthy just because it's over. It just means that it is over. God has better plans for you. That's all. Okay, so the key part is accepting that it's over, accepting the pain, the anger, the betrayal, the resentment, the embarrassment, the sadness, the waste of time, all of the above is accepting that it is over, and that's okay. It hurts, it's painful, but accepting that is the first step. Okay, the second thing is you want to let your emotions out. Honor your feelings. It is okay to honor your feelings. Cry it out, sob, scream, yell. Don't break your whole house though. We don't want you breaking anything in the house, but it is absolutely okay to honor your feelings, because honoring your feelings allow you to be able to release whatever you're feeling, which at some point it's going to get intense, but as you continue to do that, it becomes less intense, and at that point you are realizing that you're getting through the step of accepting it, that what, this is fully over with, and that is okay. Okay, so it is okay to honor your feelings. It helps you move past them. That's the most important part of it. So thirdly, you definitely, when you are in love, you're listening to others' love songs. That's so sweet. But then when it's over with, sometimes you go to the sad songs. So it's okay. Go and listen to the sad songs, because research have actually shown that listening to sad songs helps you get past the feelings of the pain and hurt that you're feeling. And the reason being that as you continue to listen to those sad lyrics, it increases the intense of pain you're feeling. It brings up those painful memories. But as you continue, it normalizes it, whereby you're able to go past it and be able to accept the status of where your relationship is at the moment. And that is okay as well. Okay, so it is absolutely okay to listen to those sad songs the same way you listen to the love songs when you're in love. It's okay to listen to the sad song, because at the moment you are dealing with sadness, and that's okay. So accept the sadness, listen to the painful memories, and as it continues to intense, you realize that it normalizes in the process of it, and you are able to go past it. That's the key thing here. You want to be able to go past this bad, messy breakup. Okay? Another thing I would recommend doing is speaking to supportive friends and family. But be very careful about this. And I say this not because I want to put anybody's family or friends down, but the reality of the world that we live in is that it's not everybody who smiles to you that means well for you. So that's very important to remember. And be very careful who you share your intimate information or experiences with, because some people love to embark on that, utilize it to throw you back under the fire and throw it in your face. So it's not everybody that needs to know your pain, and it's not everybody that needs to know your joy either. Always remember that certain people are deserving of needing to know that information, and those are the ones you as an individual know that you can rely on and trust. So speaking to friends and family members help. Like I said, be careful who you share that with. I personally would recommend professional help, which is always like seeking a therapist. It doesn't mean you're a weak person, doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It just means you as an individual accept the fact that right now emotionally you are drained, and sitting down and speaking to a professional will be helpful to your mental well-being. So speaking to a professional is definitely another approach you could do, rather than speaking to friends and family, because they will give you, information from a different perspective, help from a different perspective. They will look at it from a broader spectrum. They are not there to sugarcoat things for you. They are there to make it known and straightforward. And in that process, you also will discover things about yourself that will help you become a better individual in the process of going on with life. So I personally recommend speaking to a professional rather than friends and family. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing to speak to friends and family, but be careful who you do that with. Okay, because like I said, not everyone is deserving of knowing such, and some people become very happy knowing that you're miserable. So just be careful who you share that information with. All right, so next thing you want to do, and this is very important, and this is something that some people find hard to do, and it's because sometimes when you're angry and you're feeling sad and you're hurt and someone has disappointed you and you feel embarrassed, humiliated, in the thought of trying to forgive an individual who has hurt you is a very difficult thing to do. But remember, forgiving someone isn't letting them off the hook. It is practically reclaiming your self-empowerment. Okay, it is telling yourself that you are not going to give this person power over you, because you own your power, my dear. Okay, so it's also forgiving someone is from releasing yourself from their ability to continue hurting you. So always remember that as well. It may be helpful to recognize that what anyone else does is not a direct reflection of who you are. This is so important. Don't blame yourself for somebody's own action as to why things have ended in the relationship or as to why the breakup happened. It is not your fault. It takes two. Okay? So don't make that don't make their actions a reflection of you. It is not you. All right? And who they are has little to do with you. So if they behave a certain way, that's just who they are. That has nothing to do with you, because you are who you are, and they are who they are. All right. So a key point in the process of the forgiveness phase is telling yourself these things. All right. If someone cheated on you, it demonstrates something about that person's character and not that you are somehow inadequate. Very important. Like I said, blaming yourself for someone's behavior is absolutely unnecessary, because it is not your fault that anything happened. Like I mentioned, it takes two. So it could have been something on your end, something on their end, but it takes two to make anything work, especially a relationship, intimate one. If someone tries to blame you for their behavior, it reflects their lack of self-awareness. That just means they practically don't know themselves, which they need to go analyze and check. Okay? Understanding that the actions of another are really personal can take some of this thing out of the hurt and make it a little easier to put it behind you. That is also very important. And remember that people do things for their own self-interest. If they had cheated, it's because of their own need or that they needed to satisfy. It had nothing to do with you. So also, most people do not behave with the intention of hurting others. They act as a way to take care of their own needs, which is what like I mentioned earlier, it is not your fault. It is just them wanting to satisfy their own need. So don't blame yourself. Please don't. Okay? All right. So, and also remember that the most important part about forgiveness is also forgiving yourself. That is very important in the process of it. You have to forgive yourself in order to be able to move forward. A little self-compassion will go a long way. So always remember that. It's not just about forgiving the other individual, but also forgiving yourself as well. If you feel, you made a mistake, use it as an opportunity to learn something and grow instead of beating yourself up. If you know why you did what you did, take the time to figure it out so that you don't make the same mistakes twice. Okay? If you haven't seen just to add to that, if you're not following me on IG, make sure you are doing so. And if you haven't seen my little clip on mistakes, check it out on IG. Very short, brief message, but helps and goes a long way. Another thing also, if you did something that you felt hurt someone else, do what feels right in your heart and find a way to make amends with them. So this goes both ways, whether you're the individual who caused the pain or whether the other person is the one who caused the pain, whichever angle it is. And if you're that individual, all these key points can be handled differently depending on the situation. But most importantly, acknowledge that having flaws is part of being human, because nobody is perfect and doesn't make you unworthy. So it is okay to accept your flaws. The key part is recognizing your flaws, because sometimes people are in denial, and while you're in denial, it's really hard for you to heal and move past things. You have to accept your flaws. You have to hold yourself accountable of your part that you played. Doesn't mean you're unworthy, doesn't mean you're weak, doesn't mean you're not strong, but that is the part of also forgiving yourself and giving yourself compassion, but acknowledging your role and your part in what transpired through the whole process of the relationship, and that will help you heal faster. Okay, so another thing you want to do, so you definitely need to do this. I find that sometimes people end up not doing this particular thing, and it becomes a back and forth. Today you're together, tomorrow you're not together. Today you're together, tomorrow you're not together. So you definitely want to set clear boundaries. And remember, setting clear boundaries does not mean that you hate the person, you no longer want to speak to them, you never want to see them. Like I said, every situation is different depending on how the breakup happens, the extent of it, what the individual did. There are times in life where you don't want to speak to the person, and that's absolutely okay. You are not obligated to have to speak to them again if you choose not to. But in the cases whereby you still want to have an amicable friendship with that individual, it is still important to set clear boundaries. And what that means is not making yourself emotionally available when you are not committed to them anymore. So not making yourself emotionally available through phone conversations, which creates emotional validations. Don't do that. Seeing them frequently, of course, don't do that. No need for a booty call. Please heal first. Don't allow yourself to get into that phase of accepting such. You don't deserve that. Helping them financially, absolutely not. Don't do that, man or woman, not at all. So it's just really important to set those clear boundaries. And like I said, setting the clear boundaries does not mean that you hate the individual. And this is in the case whereby you still want to have amicable friendship. And if it's a case where you don't want to speak to the person, girl, bye. Boy, bye. Keep it moving. Yeah? So, and that is okay. So, another thing that you definitely want to do is, most importantly, focus on yourself. So after you've done all of the above, the key aspect through it all is focusing on yourself. Focusing on yourself, on how you can be a better version of yourself. Focusing on yourself, on how you can move past all this pain and anger. Focusing your energy on doing something positive that it's going to, contribute positivity to your growth. Sometimes, if you're somebody who's been going to the gym, you can spend an extra time at the gym. You can pick up new hobbies. You can take a class that you've been wanting to take. You can take a self-development class if you need. It's needed. Like I said, focusing on yourself is very critical in the process of overcoming the bad breakup and reclaiming your self-respect and your self-confidence and being able to move forward. It is so critical. Traveling is something you could do. I mean, now that traveling is a bit restricted, but that's something you could do. But please don't let it be a case of 90-day fiancé. So that's something you could do. But it's really, really important to do all those things to be able to gain your strength, to be able to move past the pain and the anger, the disappointment, the sadness, all of the 9 yards. So I hope the simple steps help you. And if you know someone that's going through moments of such, share this with them. But these are the things that will help you through that healing process of overcoming that bad breakup, that bad relationship, man or woman. It goes both ways. Whether you were the person who caused the hurt or the other individual it's really critical that you accept all of these steps, because it will help you through the process of it all. So remember that breaking up with someone you love is one of the more difficult experiences in life. But when you refocus your energy on loving yourself and feel good about who you are, you can't help but create positive experiences and attract other people with your wavelength. So always remember that part. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Please give this video a thumbs up, comment, share. Looking to sharing more with you guys. Thank you for your continued support and make it a great day.